here. When you see this, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
No, that's from Jason. God damn it, that's
You're
bad.
about to go. Great. Well, I'm obviously talking to somebody who's not qualified.
Look, it's Michael Myers.
Oh, great. All right.
It's the Candyman.
Monty just got canceled. All right.
God damn
So,
it.
there's some things going around here saying Robert Englund returning to do another Freddy movie. Okay. Yeah, maybe he might. You might not.
What
I don't
if-
know. He's been saying no. He's been saying no for years, and quite honestly, I agree with him. You know, like dude doesn't want to. Like he said 10 years ago, like right
I was
after,
done. Yeah.
longer than 10 years ago, like right after Freddy versus Jason came out, he goes, "That's the last one." He goes, "That almost whooped my ass." And that was when he's in his 60s. He's 75 now.
Yeah,
But-
that movie is it's weird. Sometimes I don't even believe that it exists.
It's one of those weird movies. Like I watch it and I like it, and then I'm like, "Oh my god, this movie's stupid." But I
But
really
you
like
like
that
it.
part.
It's like it's so
Yeah.
weird. It's so bad, but it's so believably bad and good.
Right?
It's like fuck it. Yeah, I would believe these two guys know each other.
it's like watching, Jason X when he's in space. Like that movie sucks.
It's
But I love
ridiculous.
watching that movie. Like the only way I can watch Jason X is is me imagining all the people between the scenes going, "Dude, this movie is fucking terrible." I know, they had to have done it on purpose that way. And anyway, when it comes to Freddy versus Jason, though, that there are certain points of that story that I find absolutely wonderful, and that's like one of them, like when he Concu Cocoons Jason Voorhees around like in that water wall.
Oh yeah.
And he turns into a shriveling child. Like that's a great concept. That's
Yeah,
something that you can.
That was honestly fucking cool. Like I
Right.
was like,
That
damn,
movie's
all right.
freckled with really cool shit, and it's also freckled with Freddy as a worm hitting a pipe. Anyway,
great.
so why is this even in the conversation? Why is Robert Englund being rumored maybe again to return for another Freddy movie? Well, it came out recently with an interview from Screen Rant with Jason Blum, who runs Blumhouse, which have done how many movies did they do?
They have done 85 movies.
85 movies. It's a little homework that
including
Monty did before we
including
went
such
live.
gems as The Tooth Fairy and
Ooh.
The Purge. The Tooth Fairy is not a horror movie, believe it or not. It's with Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Wait,
Where he's a fucking football player, and they call him the Tooth Fairy 'cause he knocks people
That's
out.
not the one Blumhouse
That
did,
is the one, dude. I swear to God.
because there is a horror Tooth Fairy movie.
This is the fucking one with The Rock in it.
No, I'm gonna have to fact check this.
Please do. Yeah, it's a fucking comedy. I'm looking at it. Yeah, you
Blumhouse.
can't handle the tooth. Oh shit, dude.
Oh, my
that's
God,
amazing.
Fuck, you're right. Jesus, there it is.
Yep. I wish I was wrong.
I wish you were wrong too. All right. Well,
They do make great horror movies like The Tooth Fairy again.
anyway, so Blumhouse did an interview with Screen Rant, and he had this to say when it was brought up, because Blumhouse is wanting to buy or get the rights to Nightmare on Elm Street and to Friday the 13th, which that presents some concern to me for a multitude of reasons that we'll dive into. But he was asked specifically about bringing Robert Englund back, and saying Robert Englund's too old to come back, and Jason Blum said, "Well, I could make him come back. I can get anyone to come back." Okay, that's pompous. Blum said it wouldn't be the first time he's gotten a veteran horror star to return to a franchise. Ellen Bernstein was 87. I got her back in The Exorcist. He said before commenting that Englund's age isn't a problem at all, saying, he's 75. He's young.
God, he sounds like the devil dealing in like people's souls. That's what he sounds like. I was able to get her when she was 87. She thought she was done, and then I showed her the contract.
75. There's still more years I can torture these beings. Yeah, that's pretty much. You're right. That's exactly what he sounds like. That's very.
I mean, if
very
he
good
can do
observation.
something good with it, sure.
That's the question. You know, if
their
if
movies with sequels always have progressively gotten worse and worse and worse every time. And you know damn well if he takes these movies, he's gonna fucking milk them for sequels.
Right. Yeah, like probably doing like just like, hey, you got one more in you? And then like he says, okay, I'll do one more. But like secretly in that contract it says one
Too
more.
late, bitch. You signed the contract.
No, and the contract says one more trilogy.
Yeah, one more franchise before you die.
Oh man.
Son of Freddy.
With this being said, listen, I love Robert Englund. If anybody who watches my channel knows that I love Nightmare on Elm Street. Like the whole franchise, this means a lot to me. I really scared my parents a lot for how much I liked it when I was a kid, to the point I wasn't allowed to watch it anymore. So the movie's always had a little special place in my heart. But even I'm like, do I really want Robert Englund back? Especially knowing that he kind of, I know he doesn't want to do another physical movie, you know, and what kind of movie will we get out of him if he doesn't actually participate in the physical parts of it?
I hope he's like the Emperor, where he's just like in a chair the whole time. Somehow Freddy Kreuger has returned.
I don't know, man. Listen,
if like the Sith hood, but it's like the Freddy.
Yeah, the red and green stripe,
red and green sweatshirt.
If they could have, I mean, as long as it plays into the story that they're telling, you know. But are we really wanting to get another story out of this Freddy? I personally would love to see a new person cast into this role, but then take that new person and say, hey, here's our new Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but it's a prequel, and dive into the Springfield slasher story. That's a story that hasn't been told yet. You know, that's a great fucking idea. Honestly. Dude, I've always said that story, that would be a great like mini series. It could be TV, you know, it could make one good prequel movie, but what it could do, it could really set the foundation for a new Freddy character. But you get in on the ground level with them. You know, you're there for, you know, the trial where somebody signed the paper in the wrong spot and he gets away scot-free, and that's why the parents, you know, jumped in and took powers into their own hands. And then start off telling the Freddy stories, and perhaps not even rehash the ones that we've already told. Just have this be a brand new thing, you know, where, you know, just brand new stories. Or you could go the other route and just tell a brand new story and not remake a movie or reboot it. Just have a brand new story. You know, like, oh, this is Freddy. We know what Freddy is. We know what he can do. We know his things. So everything's already established for us. Just bring us in and tell us a new story now.
Honestly, even if they were to just kind of not a soft reboot, but almost like a passing of the torch with the old Freddy and a new person being, you know, like a new Springfield slasher who's going out and fucking shit up.
A new Freddy demon master thing.
Yeah, and Freddy basically gives this person his curse / powers, whatever the fuck.
Or manifest it himself. It's funny you bring that up, because years ago, Seth, this is how fucked up of a father I am. I was discussing what they could do with the future of Freddy Kreuger with my, I think then 12-year-old son. And I was drawing pictures of different characters that he could pass the torch to. And one thing that I came up with was, I think it was Dream Child. I think Freddy 5 Dream Child, the one with the guy on the motorcycle, and the motorcycle like takes over his body. Dude, that guy looks so creepy. I said, what if Freddy, like, he wants to pass the torch, so he dips into his bin of souls and chooses who's going to be the next Freddy, and it ends up being that guy on the motorcycle, you know, and he kind of like morphs his soul into his, and then like this continues on being the new Freddy. Whatever,
dude, I'd take that. That's good.
I don't write movies, but it's not hard to create something new out of something old either. I mean, we've been talking like 5 minutes on this thing. We've come up with 3 different ideas of where they could take this franchise. Listen, if Robert Englund wants to do one more as a send-off, then do one more as a send-off. I'm okay with that. I just get worried that Blumhouse is going to do their they know how to do the horror movie elements correctly, in the sense, you know, low budget, big return. Invisible Man being one of those prime examples of that. It was
Yeah,
an $8 million
movie
budget
was-
and made like 30-40 something million dollars at the theaters.
What a great fucking horror movie, honestly.
It was pretty good. That's for a different day. I have my issues with it. I like I'm more of the I like the mythological side of things as opposed to the sci-fi side of things. But they turned it on its head, and that's fine. They did pique my curiosity for the possible Dracula movie that they were going to make, but it has seemed to fallen off the wheelhouse of what Blum is doing in the future. Right. But yeah, if they did a send off for Freddy with Robert Englund, okay, that's fine. But we need to revitalize this franchise. Some could say the franchise is dead. It died in 2010 when that one came out. It had potential. It really did. Jackie Earle Haley, I thought, did a great job playing Freddy. It was just bogged down with CGI, bad storytelling, and somehow you make a remake of a slasher film. You don't take away blood, you add more blood. That's what you do. You amp it up. They didn't amp it up. They made the beginning scene
tame as hell,
with the chick who's like crawling on the ceiling, getting cut up by Freddy in her dreams. In that first movie, that was one of the most terrifying scenes. Very believable. Yeah. In this one, it was comical. Creepy. Like, I literally chuckled when she's like going like being rolled across the ceiling. I'm like, what is this shit show that I'm watching right now?
Doing a fucking combat roll on the ground on the fucking ceiling.
Jimbo chimes in. He says, "Give it to a guy named Paul Bailey. He's someone I follow on Instagram. He can knock it out of the park, and his whole page is dedicated to the character. Like, what do you mean? Give it to a guy named Paul Bailey? You mean like writing or acting? Yeah, I don't know Paul Bailey. I'll have to check him out. You're friends with me on Twitter, Jimbo. Tag me in his name or stuff. But yeah, is he acting or is he a writer? Let us know. Maybe I can look into some of his work. But yeah, it was. So some could say this franchise died then, and I would not disagree with you. But dude, we can tell a new story. Like I said before, have it be a prequel, and then bring it forward to tell a whole new story. That's just my opinion. Acting, okay, thank you, Jimbo. But and then Blumhouse, just a little side note here, wanting to buy Freddy and Friday the 13th. That scares me. I like the fact of them, being close together and like have the same minds, making the franchise. But when it comes to Blumhouse, it does scare me because some of their like you said, there's 80 movies and I've only heard of like 5 of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like 20% of their movies are decent.
Right. And that's just a statistic that doesn't make me comfortable with my favorite horror movie franchise out there.
In the Marine Corps, we call it a suppressing fire, where they just like fire so many movies at you that eventually one of them will hit you and they'll be okay. And that's kind of what they do.
Yeah. See, I don't like that. I don't like
accuracy through volume.
See, I don't like that, man. That's not how I like my movie going experience.
Yeah, me neither. I like a little bit more thought and love behind a movie when it's shipped out.
Yes, especially movies that I grew up with, like Nightmare on Elm Street. All right, well, let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you want to see Robert Englund come back? Because he's the OG and he's the only one that can play it to you, and I completely understand that. Or are you like me, who love Robert Englund, but hey, let the guy retire and let's bring in some new fresh blood, some new creativity? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you.